much shorter time. Your thoughts of what the judge ordered.
Well, yes. Obviously, our papers were seeking something closer to a minimum sentence. I was pleased that the judge agreed with our guidelines range, less pleased that he went above the guidelines range, but ultimately running the sentence concurrent and just basically adding 1 year to what he actually serves, which I've already noticed that some of the media doesn't seem to get this, not you guys necessarily, but the sentence was largely run concurrent, 19 years, 1 year added on in real time, and that is a win in our view, and it's the right outcome. The judge was reasonable. He, I think, took into account both sides, and ultimately was fair. Although, again, I would have, of course, liked a lower sentence, but the fact that he ran it concurrent, mostly, with the exception of 1 year, is a big win for us.
Was age the major factor in your opinion?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Was age the major factor?
As mitigation?
And I'm so sorry, if you could just censor yourself in front of the microphone.
Oh, sure.
Just to make sure thank you.
Yes.
Make sure everyone can hear you. Sorry, go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. Well, of course, age is an important factor because of his life expectancy in prison. As the judge pointed out, if you're sentencing a 25-year-old man versus a 56-year-old man, you can take that into account. So a sentence for a 56-year-old man of 20 years is a life sentence, where for a 25-year-old man, it's not necessarily a life sentence. So that was a really important piece that the judge took into account. I was happy to see the judge had read the mitigation reports. He seemed familiar with our arguments around Mr. Kelly's own generational trauma. So, again, I thought that was reasonable and fair that he did that. And I also was quite pleased with the restitution issue because that was really troubling to me that the government had essentially promised restitution in obscene amounts to the witnesses in this case. And as if any of you had read my motion, that was not disclosed to us. And $14 million is a big motivator. So it's an area of cross-examination that we didn't get. The government seems to think that they can just pull numbers out of the air and say, she had something bad happen to her, give her $14 million. Well, that's just not how the system works. The judge got it. I was happy that the restitution awards were appropriate.
Have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Kelly?
I did. I did. Mr. Kelly is in good spirits. He is pleased with the outcome of the case. And again, there is still a big fight ahead of us. We are challenging the convictions in New York. That will be litigated very soon. And frankly, that's where our priorities are now. He's pleased, but we have a lot of work left to do, and we're going to do it.
And you're filing something next month in New
That's
York,
right. We're filing our brief in the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, challenging the Eastern District case, which in our estimation was an overcharged, inappropriately charged case under a RICO theory that never should have been.
Can you tell us what you thought of Kim?
Yes, we will appeal this case as well. I cannot identify for you all the issues. I do believe that giving Mr. Kelly an above guidelines range sentence is potentially an issue because, as you may have done the math, if he had stuck within the guidelines range, I think the top would have been 14. So, 168 months, I believe, is 14. But and there are some other issues that we may raise as it relates to statute of limitations, but that's to be expected in any case.
Can you tell us what you thought of Kim Fox dropping the remaining cases here?
Well, that was the reasonable choice. First of all, 2 of the accusers, complainants in the Cook County case, were already testified and accounted for in this prosecution and the Eastern District prosecution. So, I mean, I don't know how many times you're going to punish somebody for the same conduct. So there were double jeopardy issues in our opinion as it relates to those cases. Again, he doesn't leave here today with anything less than a de facto life sentence, right? I mean, that has not changed. Unless he defies all odds, he will likely die in prison. And so there is a point at which enough is enough. The government should have better things to do at this point, put their energies and their resources towards other individuals, because child exploitation does not go away just because you get 3, 4, 5 life sentences on R. Kelly. It's a very cheap way of addressing child exploitation, frankly, to say, well, we get 100 years on R. Kelly, therefore child exploitation is addressed. No, if you really care about child exploitation, if you really care, now is the time to turn your attention to other people. Mr. Kelly has been sufficiently punished. It's too much anymore. And it's almost like an unhealthy fixation, frankly, in my view.
Do you expect him to stay here, or will he go someplace else in Bureau first?
He will be designated to another facility at some point. I don't know when that will be.
Okay.
Attorney, you talked about the indictment in Minnesota. Where does that stand right now?
I actually don't know. I probably will inquire of the prosecutors there. I don't know what their intent is. Like I said, there has been an unhealthy and troubling trend that prosecutors want their piece of R. Kelly. I don't know if it's because they want the press conferences, they want you guys there, they want to use it as some evidence that they care about child exploitation. I don't know what it is, but the Minnesota case, I don't know what it could possibly add to what he's already been sentenced to. It seems like an unreasonable use of resources, but we'll find out. Thank you.
Thank you.